Everybody knows it's Hi, my name is Freezwalm and I make a lot of stupid electronic songs and I post them on the internet because I love doing that. And I make all of them in Reason 5.0 from the company Propellerhead. So I'll just open it and explain what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a couple of videos explaining you how to use this program, what you can do with it, and how I use it to make my sounds. I'm gonna start out very basically, so I'm gonna pretend like you do not know anything of this program yet. So if you open it up, you get this, an empty rack. The first time you open it, you will probably get a demo song. Just go to Edit, Preferences, and choose the empty rack. Yeah, so it does not open the stupid song, but he gives you a clean, fresh, empty rack. Now, what I like to do, well, what I always do is I go to Window and I detach the sequencer window. This bottom part here, that's the sequencer window. And this is where you compose your melodies, while this rack over here on top, this is where you create the instruments. So I'm going to detach it, and then you get two separate windows, so it's a lot cleaner to work in them. You have a lot more space in them. It works nicer. So I'm going to start with adding a mixer, because if you do not add a mixer, you will have no sound output whatsoever. Then I will start with showing you how to make a very basic drum loop. I like to make my drum loops in the NNXT Advanced Sampler because it's very easy to load samples in it, and they can range from WAV, WAV or MP3 or WMA or whatever. It can open most of those types. So yeah, when you create the NNXT, you get this device. You have to press this arrow right here and then click this folder, and this will open a browser, and you normally you should you had the Reason Factory sound bank and the Orchestra sound bank. When you installed Reason, you also installed these, and then you just go to yeah, you can just look in any of those maps for samples. Personally, I do not like the samples that come with Reason. I recommend just looking for Reason refills on the internet. There's a lot of free refills you can download, and some of them contain really good stuff. But since you do not have them yet, I'm gonna show you the standard Reason samples. Just go to the Redrum drum kits, scroll down to exclusive drums sorted, and then you can just search for whichever category you want. So I'm gonna start with a kick drum or a bass drum. So just click that map, and then you get a whole bunch of yeah, a whole bunch of bass drums. I don't really like these, but for the sake of this movie, I'm just gonna choose one and use it. I'm gonna instantly turn the level to maximum in here, and then I can adjust the level when I finish my mix right here with the mixer. So to keep your workspace clean, it's a good idea to name your instrument, something I do not do a lot actually, but it's better to do it. And as you can see here, your the instrument you made is automatically linked to the first channel of your mixer. You can see that by clicking the tab key on your keyboard. They show you the how do you say this yet? The behind part of your rack, the back of your rack. Oh Jesus! And then you can see that the output is connected to the input of your mixer. Now just press tab again, and you look at the front again. To make a drum loop, we're gonna need more than a kick, so I'm gonna make a new and an XT. Open the arrow, open the folder again. Normally the folders you were in are still opened. So here, the exclusive drums, bass drum, and I'm gonna close this folder, and I'm gonna choose a snare drum now. Oh god. Most of these are totally horrible. But anyhow, I'm gonna turn up the level and minimize this one also. I'm gonna name it snare, and I'm gonna make one more with, for instance, with a hi-hat. So back in here, close the snare folder, hi-hats, open it. This sounds nice, but it's very quiet. Anyhow, there we go. We have a kick, a snare, and a hi-hat. The three basic components you need for a basic beat. This number right here is the tempo of your beat. I'm gonna put it at, I don't know, maybe 85. That's like a pretty regular hip-hop tempo. To zoom in on your sequencer window, you have to use these slide buttons. So I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit here, and gonna select the pencil tool. As you can see, when you created those instruments, Reason automatically put them in the sequencer window as well. Here you have your kick, your snare, and your hi-hat. You can also rename them in here, but that's a little, that doesn't really matter right now. If you want to make music, you're gonna have to draw a bar. In that bar, we're gonna add the notes, and that's how we work with the instrument. Now, if you click on the C3 key right here, this one, this is the exact sound of the sample you just loaded. If you go higher on the keyboard, you play a higher pitch of that sample you just loaded, and if you go lower, of course, a lower pitched sound. So I'm just gonna use the exact sample, and then with the pencil tool you can draw a little bar. Now the length of the bar determines the length of your sample, but because the kick is a very short sound, I'm gonna make a short bar. To hear it, to play back what you just created, you have to push the play button right down there, and then stop to stop it. And then you can see this slider moving. That's your play slider. I don't know what it's called, but I don't really have a name for it. So yeah, you can also just press space to play and pause. It's easier. So I'm gonna create a couple more of these. As you can see, they snap to these lines, and you can increase or decrease the accuracy of that snap. In here, I'm gonna put it on 1/8. Yeah, my English is bad, I know it, but I don't care. So as you can see, it snaps nicely to the white lines, and that's If you want to keep it into a tight drum tempo, then you should do that, but of course you're totally free to not do it as well, to make something cooler, but that's a little bit more advanced, I think, so I'm gonna make it simple. Yeah. I'm gonna just start out very simple, something like this. If you press the loop button down there, you will see that your play thing is gonna loop between the right and the left boundary. You can move these to wherever you want, so I'm just gonna put them here so you can hear the beat looping. Alright, I'm gonna make this shorter again because I do not need that much length, and I'm gonna do the same for the snare. I'm gonna draw a thing. Gonna select the C3 key and I'm gonna draw some bars and play it back. I can immediately hear that the kick is way louder than the snare, so I'm gonna put the snare a bit louder here and the kick a little bit softer maybe. Alright, and now I'm going to add a third one in the hi-hat instrument. Yep. Something like that maybe. Let's increase the amount. This is very basic beat, so let's spice it up a little bit. Of course, when you make an entire song, you cannot just let it loop. You're gonna have to build up the entire song from the beginning till the end. So I'm gonna copy and paste these beams, these whatevers I just made. Yeah. Let's spice up the beat. I'm gonna zoom in on this kick drum part right here, and I'm gonna double the kick drum over here, for instance, and I'm gonna put one over there. That's already a lot more interesting than it was before. I'm gonna put a little one right over there. And I'm gonna double this one. So this starts to sound like a hip-hop beat. What I wanna hear now is, for instance, is maybe an open hi-hat. I think that could be cool. So I'm gonna go back to the redrum drum kits, exclusive drum sorted, hi-hats. I hope there are open hi-hats in here. These are open hi-hats, but they sound really ugly, but I don't really give a shit. I'm just gonna show you how to do it. You can also copy a bar from a different instrument if you like. So I'm gonna do it right here. Put it at the end. Nope. Put it over there. That's a good position, but it's way too loud. I'm gonna tune down the volume on that one. Yeah, it sounds bad, I know, but hey, you're just gonna have to look for better samples if you want to make something better. Then I'm gonna make like a crash, perhaps. So that should be under cymbals. Let's take the first one. Sounds simple and clean. Yeah, what you can hear here is that the sound of the crash is cut off when you meet the end of the bar here. That's what I meant with the length of your sample. So I'm gonna make this longer, and you can hear the sound of the crash go longer. Okay, I'm gonna put this one only in the beginning of the beat, and then at the end of the beat I'm gonna make a little fill. Yeah, very simple, very basic. Something like this, perhaps. There we go. Very simple drum loop. Then what I also like to do, because if you have a lot of instruments in this sequencer window here, I'm gonna zoom out with this button, and I'm gonna minimize these so they take up less space in my sequencer window. And something else I also like to do is give them a color, like for instance red, so I know everything that's red in my sequencer window is a drum part, and then for instance everything I make yellow is a bass perhaps, or a and everything I make green is a voice, a vocal or something. It's all up to you, of course. I'm just gonna name these crash, and this was the open hi-hat. So there you go, very basic beat in Reason. I hope you enjoyed this video. Yeah, goodbye.